Hey Twowlings, it's time for TWOW. Wait, what episode number is it? I'll let official Silly Pooh's contraption tell us. That was so impressive, official Silly Pooh. I like how you use some pieces twice, like the ping pong balls next to the efficient fry UI. Wait, ping pong ball? Cup? Ping pong cup shots, I think someone is trying to summon you. Also, this mesmerizing background music is called Skyline, and it's by JujuMas. I give it an A+. So, the 15th TWOW prompt was, create an advertisement for a restaurant in a world where eating is considered obscene. Everyone agrees that this prompt would have been better if I used the word taboo instead of obscene, because the emphasis was supposed to be on arbitrary societal norms. Oh well, we can always try the fixed version of this prompt in a future season. Back to the present. Our 14 living TWOWers submitted 17 responses to that prompt. But before we get to that, it's time for some rambling by your friendly local moderator Tantasar.
I've got some good news. 2 bits of news, I'll be very quick. First of all, we have Joseph Howard on the Discord now. That's good, stop bugging him about it. 2, we have 2 subreddits now. We have r/10 words of wisdom and we have r/12 fanart. r/10 words of wisdom is for general discussion, r/12 fanart is for 12 fanart. That's the thing Carrie is going to be looking at to pick stuff for the title cards and other art that you're about to see. I'll let you get to them now. Bye!
Now it's time for 1215B fan art. I just collected all the images off of the TWOW fanart subreddit. If I didn't get your image, sorry, I'm human and I make mistakes too. I still think your fanart is great though. Here's this cool TWOW periodic table by former TWOWer Milo Jacquet. Milo was a TWOWer who placed 83rd and did better than 83% of other TWOWers, and is the only TWOWer with that amazing property. I also want to say, Michael and I met Sumner the Pie Guy and SpicyMan33 a few days ago at what I like to call TWOWCon 2016. That was super fun. Next, Mike Ramsey was upset at Kyle Lazorko for making me not read his 1215 confessional out loud. Since so many living TWOWers place such a heavy emphasis on their confessionals, I guess I'd better read them. Confessional haters can just skip ahead anyway. Crafty7 said, "Oh no, Riley was a good friend of mine and she got eliminated. Also, my alphabet neighbors, AlexLion0511 and FryUI, the people next to me when we were ranked alphabetically, were also eliminated. 14B was a sad episode." Mr. Twister's confessional was part of the B-movie script, which I'm not going to read. Midnight Light said, "I'm so sad Riley's gone. She was one of my favorite TWOWers. Anyway, I can't believe I'm in the final 14. Good luck to everyone. I hope you like my addition to my book." Midnight. Mike Ramsey said, "This is a diss track. Give me a beat, Carrie. Yo, Midnight Light, I'm calling you out. Something smells fishy just like a trout. I think that you are JujuMas, and I will send you down the block. We both used to be turquoise and green, but I'll be the last one on the scene. What you got, boy? What you got? Straight out of Dream Island, end it with a dot." Sorry if that's a reference for something, I don't really know anything. Ping Pong Cup Shots said, "Joseph Howard, can you please go on the Discord chat at some point? You're the only person left. It's either you join or you get eliminated because we're all sick and tired of this. Thanks." As you know, Joseph Howard actually did join the Discord, so now you've got all living TWOWers on there. Hooray! I guess your next target is the Futek hacker. Actually no, don't target people. So that's it for the confessional reading. Now, we gotta get to the 12-15 results. How many votes did we get? It's a long story, but what happened first was I noticed that the latest TWOW video got more comments in 2 days than the first episode of BFDI in 6.5 years.
Carrie, I think it's time to bring in the black duct tape.
Not so fast, TRLonYT, we don't know if they hit 1 million yet. Then, I checked all my non-spam comments and counted about 20,000 votes. Afterward, I checked my spam comments, since often, legitimate votes get sent there unfairly. But I guess YouTube had a bug under all the stress of thousands of comments because it showed me no spam comments. I was super upset because, due to Shiny Cowards casting thousands of comments to break YouTube's comment section system, I couldn't count votes cast by authentic voters who just so happened to also get placed in spam, which is not okay. Then, Michael wrote a program that collects the YouTube comments with the YouTube API, which is 1 quadrillion times more efficient. And with that, I was able to collect all the legitimate votes. So how many were there? 490 voters cast 784,649 votes. By the way, this crowd of voices you keep hearing is these people, though some of them weren't so cooperative.
And I'm not saying any of the contestants' name because you're all big poopies. How's that feel?
Some of you might be thinking, the vote count has to be more than 1 million, since there were rumors that some people individually cast several million votes. Well, I think the YouTube API is somehow shortening ultra-long comments, so that no one user can cast millions of votes, and we end up with only 784,000 of them. But you know what? This isn't a joke anymore. Now that you Shiny Cowards actually almost endangered other legit voters' votes, I officially declare war on you. From now on, only the first 10 votes you cast will count. Cast any more, and I just won't accept them. So it's pointless to try. Shiny Cowards aside, which TWOWer answered the prompt, create an advertisement for a restaurant in a world where eating is considered obscene, the best? Remember, the top 2 will get the double response prize for next time, and the bottom 2 will die. Some of you thought that 3 people should be eliminated instead of 2, but I'm only eliminating 2 so that I can ease smoothly into the final 10. Makes sense? Okay, just like the last 2 times, we'll reveal how each living TWOWer did in the order they placed last time. So, Yosoan is up first. 3-time Victor Yosoan submitted 2 responses, but the better scoring one was Hidden off Main Street, Enjoy Discreet, Salad or Meat, Eat Bittersweet. This rhyming beat is outstandingly neat. It keeps me on my feet and on the edge of my seat. Voters don't cheat, and they think it should beat 54% of other greets. Some would put that on your spreadsheet.
In the corner wearing a straight jacket, it's the cannibalistic god.
By the way, former TWOWer Dancing FB18 is the one doing the WrestleMania-style intros, but unfortunately, I couldn't use them all because of time and circumstances. Green Tree advertises restaurant by saying, think tube feeding's getting boring? Well, our food is worth exploring. More rhyming, I'm sensing a pattern.
Let's see what the voters have to say.
Whoa, you guys came out of nowhere. Just a smidge below 50%, neither good nor bad. Up next is
Sumner the Pie Guy,
who said his own name.
Sumner the Pie Guy.
His better scoring response was, tantalize your salivary glands and tongues at our sleazy restaurant. Well, you're quite honest, I'll give you that.
Let's see what the voters have to say.
Oh my gosh, are you guys going to say that every time?
Yes.
Whatever. 42.99%. A little on the low end. We're not sure if that's enough to survive just yet, we'll find out later. In other news, Yosoan nudged his way into the final 12. Fourth up is... wait, I forgot how to pronounce this TWOWer's name. Can you guys help me? Thanks! And he says, oh my gosh, I forgot how to read. Can you help me out, Riley? You dog god, mutt nut, pug mugger, tail wagger bagger, fetch player slayer, retriever cleaver, terrier barrier, and Rottweiler exiler?
Try our $5 0-foot-long sandwich. It's 0 calories.
Wow, the value of that sandwich is like infinity dollars per inch. 58.84%, which is a solid score ensuring you safety.
In the corner of their top hat, it's a level-headed underdog, carykh,
whose restaurant ad was, well, I still don't know how to read, so let's have Tantasaur read it.
Tattoos and piercings too expensive? come to Parental Disappointment Pizzeria.
If your parents are disappointed in you eating pizza, they shouldn't be your parents.
Let's see what the voters have to say.
49.36%, ever so slightly below average unfortunately. Are the parents being disappointed or the viewers? Now we've got frontrunner who said,
Society standards shouldn't stop someone from succumbing to starving stomachs.
a lot of alliteration with S here, which is pretty page flippin' cool.
Let's see what the voters have to say.
51.57%. Again, I was expecting a bit higher for this one. Oh well.
In the legendary quest corner, it's the polarizer, Joseph Howard.
His restaurant was called,
Every flavor gum shop, all the taste, none of the shame.
marking the first time a trademark symbol has ever found its way into a TWOW response.
Let's see what the voters have to say.
55.23%, which means you survive for another day.
In the American corner, it's the daredevil baby, Mike Ramsey.
Who said,
Eat at Marks. Don't let the government control your taste buds.
are you talking about Marx like Karl Marx? I guess that would make sense with the whole government thing.
Let's see what the voters have to say. Let's see what the voters have to say. Let's see what the voters have to say.
I think we've heard enough of that now. 51.10%, meaning he is safe. Up next is
TWOW
who I have to apologize to for calling him TWOW. I won't be doing that again.
Now open, super spicy sub shop. Feed your wild side.
Just like Tact, you alliterated using the letter S. This earned you a score of 45.36%, a tad low, so you might or might not be safe. On the other hand, underdog Corby King is guaranteed a spot into TWOW 16.
In the corner that's on fire, but he doesn't really seem that concerned with it. It's Leonardo DiCaprio of TWOW. Spider-Man 33.
Who said,
Come down to Riley's. You'll have a doggone good time.
which is appropriately read aloud by Riley herself.
Oh, and actually, it's Riley's Doggy Diner. Get it right, please. I have a business here.
Don't worry, Riley, it's only because of the restrictive word count. But Spicy Man, seriously, a pun? SMH at SMH. Shaking my head at Spicy Man's hastiness.
Did Spicy Man 33's response have enough spice? Let's find out.
A score of 50.72% shows that you're neither impressing nor disappointing the voters. Next, we've got the tennis ball holding Crafty 8. I mean Crafty 6. Oops, I mean Crafty 2763. You know what? You line recorders need to do this one for me.
Crafty 7.
Nighttime cafe. Nobody's seeing you eat shark in the dark.
More rhyming. Rhyming is the new TWOW trend now, isn't it? First budget cuts, then Trump, then puns, then this. Voters said 54.91%. That's actually a really good score for this late in the game. Hey,
Midnight Light.
I hope you're feeling well. And remember that we TWOWers will always have your back. In your 1215 response, you said,
Societal norms? Fear of judgment? Forget those and come eat.
what did voters think of this liberating restaurant? 50.61%, and you have earned a spot into the final 12. Once again, we've reached sudden death zone. Every time I reveal a score, one TWOWer will instantly be declared safe, and another will instantly be eliminated.
In the therapist's office trying to get over their crippling addiction to boosts, it's the Boostaholic, Ping Pong Cups.
And it's him versus
Sumner the Pie Guy.
only one of the two of them can survive. And it all depends on whether Papux, that's my new favorite nickname, beats 42.99%. So far, we've seen more scores above 50% than below, so really anything could happen. Papux, your advertisement
Tired of vitamin injections? Try our range of food complexions.
also had rhyming. It really is a trend now. Voters gave it a percentile of 52.33%. Goodbye, Sumner the Pie Guy. You were a TWOW fan favorite, and your spreadsheet was an amazing TWOW creation that I often relied on for crucial TWOW information. I'm not sure why I'm using past tense, because you will continue to be a TWOW fan favorite. You were the first TWOWer I met solely because of TWOW.
Beating Spicy Man 33 by mere seconds.
And that was a super cool experience. You will never be forgotten. Finally,
In the corner setting up a totalitarian government where puns are outlawed, is the leader of the pun resistance, the Mighty Midge.
TWOW14 Bullet Dodger the Mighty Midge had this to say for his restaurant.
Lawyer required. We're being sued because stewed food is rude.
That's our 5th rhymer, but I do have to say that was a clever take on the obscene restaurant prompt. Either the Mighty Midge or TWOWpwn H6427 will be leaving us shortly, which means that the MST Alliance will be losing a second member regardless. Did the Midge who is mighty beat 45.36% or not? Let's find out. (51.49%). Goodbye, TWOWpwn H6427. It pains me to see the last of the baguetters be killed off like this. Also, I'm sorry you had to be eliminated on a prompt you didn't like. How unfortunate. Thank you so much for sticking with me for so long. From the 2012 days of Baguette to the 2016 days of TWOW and onward. And despite placing 13th overall in TWOW, I hope nothing but good luck upon you and your journey into the future. Also, I like your ambiguous TWOW Central profile pic. Statistics time, I suppose? Just so I don't forget this time, here are all 3 pages of the official results. Mr. Twister earned his 2nd round victory, making him the 3rd TWOWer to ever do so. Congrats, MT, but your blatant scam for customers' money rightfully earned the most controversial award, while sleaziness was the least controversial. That's not a sentence you hear every day. Here's the simulation-based TWOW predictions. A lot changed this time, with SpicyMan33 falling 4 ranks and Joseph Howard taking the new number 2 spot. Also, both eliminated contestants were efficiency champions in one way or another, so the efficiency curse actually is pretty effective.
Carrie, are you happy?
Hey, Animation Created, don't act like this is my fault. It's not like I wanted this to happen. So I'd better not say who the current efficiency champions are. No, seriously though, you better not say it this time. Okay, you're right. Corby King.
Flippin'!
Interesting phenomenon. For the first time ever, all double responses were in the elimination zone. Maybe TWOWers were just too pooped to make good responses 2 times in a row. Also, the range between first and last was a tiny 16.93%. That is mouthwateringly tiny. So yeah, because of that microscopic range, that resulted in some nerds' 2 responses, which honestly weren't that bad, to take the bottom 2 spots. It's the first time that's happened, so you know what, SNTPG? It's good to go out with a bang. Another thing, TWOWpwn H6427, I know your username has nothing to do with the mathematical constant tau, but I still think it's a cool coincidence that the TWOWers that sound like they have pi and tau in their name went out at the same time. It's mathematically symmetrical, kinda. M now covers 25% of all living contestants. I think that's the highest proportion any letter has ever had in the TWOW community. Green Tree, you're the last living TWOW god. That means TWOW has gone from being polytheistic to monotheistic. Wow! Michael wanted me to tell you that his TWOW book generator at h1.net/book now lets you create a blank book image. To summarize, here's who's still in and who's eliminated. If you're eliminated, you won't be able to send me any more responses for upcoming TWOW Season 1 prompts. So you elite dozen TWOWers, are you ready to participate in TWOW 16? This prompt will honestly flip your brain inside out, it's so cool. So far, TWOW responses have kind of been sitting in their own bubbles. They don't really interact with each other, but that all changes with the 16th TWOW prompt, which is, simulate an argument between yellow and orange carry over who is smarter.
Does that seriously even need an argument? It's obviously me.
I need you to leave right now because I gotta explain. What's going on is yellow carry and orange carry are arguing over who's more intelligent. So usually, your responses show up on a voting screen that looks like this, right? Well, this time, your responses will fill these voice bubbles in this comic strip of the argument. Because it's all randomized, you TWOWers won't know which voice bubble your response will end up in, and you won't even know which side you're speaking for. Regardless, your goal is to come up with a clever comeback to whatever was said before. For example, an acceptable TWOW 16 response might be, seriously, you only use long words to sound artificially smart. If this response just so happens to follow a response like, utilizing quantum mechanics, an observer can deduce, you're unquestionably incoherent, then that response is spot on, and the voters will rank it really well. However, if the response follows a response like, if you complain about wordiness, you're avoiding directly refuting me, then that response just got demolished, and voters will rank it pretty poorly. Remember, since the voting screen changes a lot, your response will be paired against a different set of surrounding responses every frame, so you gotta be able to counterattack against all types of previous responses. Voters, you'll be reading the whole set of 10 responses as a continuous conversation. And if you read one line and you're like, dang, orange guy nailed it on the head, yellow guy just got pulverized, then you should rank that line high, and the previous line low. Off-topic and nonsensical responses should also get voted low. This is really cool, because once the data's in, not only can I see who did the best and worst, I can also see what the best pairings are, and create cool webs of best responses, and oh my TWOW, it's just gonna be so datalicious. You might have noticed that the first line has no previous response to respond to, but it does get to set the topic of the argument, sort of. So I'd say every spot, A through J, has its own advantages and disadvantages. So yes, you 12 TWOWers, get to work on arguing while you are more intelligent than your opponents. This is the first time your fellow TWOWers' responses directly affect how well you'll do. So, you gotta be good at predicting what they'll say. You can submit your responses up until July 2, 2016 at 10 PM UTC. And Mr. Tweezer and Joseph Howard, of course, you two get to submit 2 responses, and only the better scoring one will count. I forgot to say, Living TWOWers can still include confessionals and book appearance changes in their PMs to me. In addition, due to requests from others, I'd like to ask the Living TWOWers to rank their favorite TWOW prompts 1 to 15 in their YouTube PM as well, so we can do a TWOW blast from the past in TWOW 17. Again, none of this is required besides the response itself. This is the prompt that will determine the glorified final 10, so things are getting intense. See you all in TWOW 16A, when the voters get to decide the fates of the remaining TWOWers.